This is Kimberly Wells coming to you live from another shooting perpetrated by whom the media likes to call the vigilante.
Hey, asshole!
Give me your fucking money. I'm gonna cut you up.
Who the fuck are you, bitch?
Candy, we know something happened, and we know you were there.
I'm everywhere and nowhere. I'm like the wind.
Well, we found some information about the punks that killed your family. Only thing is, they're all dead.
Fucking bitch!
I seriously doubt that's our vigilante.
Jesus fucking Christ, Pino, what the fuck is going on?
Man, you think she has something to do with it?
She?
I ain't saying nothing about nothing. It's nobody's business.
The mayor's up my ass, which means I'm gonna be up yours. I want company.
Say hello to your mother and brother, bitch!
What's this?
What do we got going on?
Who's that?
Oh shit, damn, get the fuck out of here!
I have no clue what you're talking about. I'm not a killer.
There has got to be a reason other than just cleaning up the streets.
Fuck you, motherfucker! Give me all your fucking cash! Right here, give me your cash!
There have been 11 victims of this vigilante, but the victims themselves were criminals.
Let go of me! Let go! Let go! Let go!
Hey everybody, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Witching Hour podcast. I'm your host, as always, John Royslin. With me tonight is a small film review. What are we talking about? What is it? I don't have drums to roll. So the name of the film is Death Bitch. You heard me correct. Not Death Wish, but Death Bitch. This 2024 film. I want to thank Mr. Joe Williamson for having sent me yet another great film to watch. This film is an homage to vigilante films, which, in my opinion, were the absolute greatest during the 80s. From such great films, of course, Death Wish with legendary actor Charles Bronson, to more updated films as close as Revenge. You could honestly even go as far as to say the Kill Bill series, my personal favorite, and my first touch with, in my mind, the ugliness of a true gritty vigilante film was the film, in fact, Vigilante from 1982. So the film itself is set out in the California Bay Area. Young lady, our vigilante, star of the movie, Linnea Swanson, has suffered the loss of her mother and brother from gang-related deaths on a home invasion. Now, with that home invasion, there is also the Bay Area slasher. I'm sorry, I can't remember what they called him. The character in the news in the film. So the cops are after a slasher. Our said young vigilante is after the gang members. So there's a giant circle going around of cops not really knowing who to chase, up until all of a sudden gang members are starting to turn up dead. in which case there's actual news, breaking news scenes that come across the show. Writer, director, as well as co-star of the film, Ken Ace Brewer, who has also brought us Zombie Rage and the Death Park series. This is his new baby. Did I like it or not? So let me just say it. So the film, it starts off with some really great overhead scenes, camera work coming up late at night over a California town, road, wherever you want to call it. I'm thinking, okay, we got some production value. We've got some quality. Joe, you sent me a good movie. All right. And then the opening scene we see is a hooker being approached by a John in a car. And then the quality of the film instantly turns into indie. And I mean hard indie. But I'm like, all right. Then all of a sudden it turns into, Joe, what the fuck did you send me? So with that being said, the hooker cusses out the John who pulls up. She basically walks up, leans in, looks at this slob and says, oh, no fucking way. Fuck you. They exchange words. He's like, fuck you. I'll be back. Takes off. Next scene, a van pulls up. Guy up front. Hey, baby, want to party? All of a sudden, the sliding door pulls open. Bigger guy gets out, grabs her, puts her in the back. They drive off to said location, and he's beating the shit out of her. The car door comes open. The guy pops out. Boom. The other guy gets out. What the fuck? Boom. And there is our young vigilante, Lydia Swanson, and the story begins. So not only is Lydia wanting revenge, obviously, she's also out to become a true blue vigilante and superhero, if you will, by taking out all the bad element in her little town. Okay. Now, Mr. Ken Brewer, again, has paid homage to the vigilante style of films. Now, I can't stop watching this movie. It's not bad. It's not god-awful, and I'm not implying that it is. I have seen a lot worse, and I've seen a lot better, but this movie grows on you, and you start to really appreciate what Mr. Brewer is bringing you as his project. And I don't want to say homemade special effects, but limited special effects, limited budget, and it pays off. And if you are a fan of indie films, you are going to absolutely fucking love this movie. If you are a fan of vigilante style movies, you're going to appreciate this film. And I think you will end up loving it, as it will grow on you. Now, the film itself, it stars, sorry, I'm looking down. I've got it written down here. Tracy Burr, legendary adult film star, as major film movies. Bridgette the Midget Powers. And I'll tell you what, she's a bad little motherfucker in this film too, because I mean, she's beating the shit out of people. She's stabbing people. She's holding people up. She has no reservations, and her character pulls through with the crew that she's running with. Now, there is a small cameo scene that our one and only Mr. Ken Brewer is watching a film, and the movie itself is it is actually a small scene with Caitlin Kinner and one and only Mr. Robert Mukes. I'm looking at it. I was like, that's a big son bitch. And I see the long silver hair. Just, yeah, me and him, we could be brothers. Not really. And Mr. Robert Mukes. So great cameo scene with that. It was actually from one of the Death Park films. Obviously, as I mentioned, another one of Mr. Brewer's films. So the film is full of bad acting, but it's great. It keeps you. And the acting itself isn't bad. It really isn't. There are some action scenes. There are a couple, there's some shootout scenes towards the end of the film. And you're just kind of like, guys, come on, give me a little bit of something here. But it's so fucking awesome at the same time. It really, really is. And I was truly surprised because for what he gave you and stretched it out to an hour and a half film, he really made it work. It wasn't, there was, unfortunately, in a lot of indie films that I see, because you are moving along and you are learning as a smaller independent filmmaker, you've got great ideas, but unfortunately, between scene A and scene B, you might have a lot of waiting for something to happen, and it doesn't happen like this in this film. It moves right along, and for an hour and a half of nonstop movement, the story really moves right along, and it does have action. It is an action movie. Ken Ace Brewer, dude, nicely done. Now, a lot of people would have said, John, you are a horror man. Fuck are you doing with this movie? Well, you know, I thought about it. First of all, Joe Williamson brings me a lot of movies, and I thank him for that. So I'm not going to just say, dude, that ain't horror. But then again, if you think about this, the term horror and what it entails, horror, terror. Okay, if you are walking down the street one night and you get attacked by a group of people, vigilante, retribution, you've got gang members, you've got thugs that are just no respect for life. All right, that's terror. That's horror. So in its own right, yes, a vigilante film, in my mind, can be considered in the realm of a horror movie. Okay, and it is because of that terror that comes to the surface, our newfound hero, the vigilante, which is not above the law, is actually breaking the law themselves by retribution and revenge. So, all things circling, it is what it is. And besides, it's my show, so I'm going to talk about fucking Disney movies if I want. Fuck Disney. That's how much we're going to talk about Disney on my show. Anyhow, films. Death Bitch. Find it. Watch it. Appreciate it. Love it. Because the more I think back about just having watched this film, the more I do honestly like it. I wish that our friend, Mr. Brewer, had a little bit higher budget to have invested in the film, but he did a great job with what he gave us. Now, I do know there are filmmakers that don't want a high budget. They love being a great B movie, which is what he has given to us. It is indie at its finest. With that being said, boys and girls, I hope you have enjoyed my couple minutes of film review for Death Bitch. Look for it. Okay. Definitely check it out. John with the Witching Hour podcast. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Be sure to try to remember to hit the little subscribe button. Please. Please. You don't even have to do anything. Just click, hit the little button. That's all you got to do. Anyhow, when you're done with that, go into your living room, turn your TV on. If you've got a Roku, go to the apps, scroll down. You will find the Witching Hour podcast. Download my app. It is for free. You're going to have my entire library. You will have 8 of my most recent interviews and shows in the comfort of your own living room. Boys and girls, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am John with the Witching Hour podcast. Join me again soon. I've got some phenomenal interviews coming up for you guys. I don't even want to talk about who. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I got some really big names coming up soon. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy your night. Thank you for your time. Let me know when you do get around to watching Death Bitch, and let me know what you think about it. Talk to you guys soon. Take care and stay evil.